We have interesting news for you. A new chapter has been added to the White Chronicle.
A new chapter?
That's right. One that normally should not exist.
But how? The ritual succeeded. My duty as a sacrifice should be no more.
The presence of this edition is due to the actions you have taken on your journey so far.
I think I understand now. The desertification is still taking place. In other words, there's more for me to do.
Indeed. It seems history isn't done with you yet.
Now, proceed forth into this new possibility.
Just in case, do you want to record your actions up till now?
You fool. Why did you think I gave you the power to fight your fate with the White Chronicle? You greatly disappoint me.
Heiss, I need to request a favor.
What, pray tell, would you ask of me, after all that's happened?
Please, listen to me. I need your aid in eliminating the cause of Vainqueur's troubles.
The cause, you say?
You know well the tragedy that occurred in the Empire ages ago, and the ritual born out of it. Well, my plan will end any need for us to perform that ritual. That's what you've always wanted, isn't it?
Tell me more. So, you hope to root out the problem from its source?
Yes, but I need your cooperation. Please lend me your aid, Heiss.
We were enemies but moments ago, yet now you ask for my help. You truly are a precocious boy.
Thanks to you, Heiss. You gave me the White Chronicle, and the power to overcome fate.
Fair enough. Let's talk outside.
Stocke, you're back! And Heiss too?
Hold on, Rosh. Listen to me. We need Heiss fighting alongside us for what's about to come.
What's about to come?
Isn't the princess already going to perform the ritual and fix everything?
No. We're going to create a world where we no longer need the ritual's power.
Sounds good. But, what are we doing exactly?
Allow me to explain.
Nemesia? What are you doing here?
It's nice to meet you all. My name is Nemesia. Stocke has been helping me out, and we've almost met our goal.
In other words, you know how to solve the desertification at its source?
That's correct. Through a series of Thaumatek experiments, the Empire of Old inadvertently created a monster, like a black hole. This temporal beast drains the mana around it. It is known as the Singularity.
So you're saying this singularity is sucking up all the mana? Wait, that's what's causing the desertification?
Correct. But the Empire couldn't contain the monster they made. Thus, the ritual of flux was used to suppress its powers.
That's what the ritual was all this time? I was told its purpose was to heal the Earth. To think this was the truth of the matter.
I'm beginning to see the big picture here. The means of defeating this temporal beast have only recently come to light, yes?
Bingo. But doing so requires all 3 magical tomes. Stocke's White Chronicle, Heiss's Black Chronicle, and I'll need everyone's help to restore my Red Chronicle.
I'm asking as well. Please, assist us in putting an end to this tragedy once and for all.
Yes. Even I no longer wish to perform such a grievous ritual.
No need to ask twice. We're all here to help Stocke out.
That's right. We'll fight by your side to the very end.
Thanks, you guys. And you, Heiss? Will you offer us your strength?
If it puts an end to this tragedy, then so I shall.
All right, it's settled then. Let's immediately...
Don't get ahead of yourself now. I will cooperate. But there are other matters I must attend to. Surely you don't need me to compile the Red Chronicle.
True. We won't need your Black Chronicle until we're ready to face the temporal beast.
Then I vow to rendezvous with you before the final battle, at the place beyond time.
Very well.
Okay, Let's get to work on compiling the Red Chronicle. Follow me to the Dunamis.
Wow, a boat!
It's huge!
Yeah, this is amazing!
I wouldn't have guessed you've been taking off on a ship.
Stocke, you've been carrying the weight of the world all on your own, haven't you?
Yeah, how about a little trust?
Apologies. I wasn't allowed to tell anyone about this.
It's okay, Stocke. We could all tell something was up.
But we had no idea it involved saving the whole continent.
I knew all along. Stocke's special.
Of course. The Red One, Stocke, mended relations between beast kind and humans after all.
Sounds like none of us would be here without Stocke's help.
Let's leave the thanks until later, though. We still have much to do here. Now, Nemesia, tell us what our next course of action is.
Like I said, I need your help repairing the Red Chronicle.
Sure, but don't you need some special know-how to deal with magical tomes like that?
Not to worry. That's where I come in. Compiling a magical tome is different from a normal book. More so with the Red Chronicle. You could say we're turning the artifacts into pages and putting them back in the right order.
What?
That sounds hard. Maybe it's easier to grasp in practice than in theory. So let's get started. And here we are, the Chronicle's Labyrinth.
What?
It just looks like Alistel to me.
You get an F for judging a book by its cover.
So this isn't Alistel?
This is the world as it was 50 years ago.
We're in the past?
It looks like this because this chapter of the tome covers Alistel's history.
Then we can go to other places and times? Oh, that I'd like to see. I mean, wow, these magical tomes can work miracles.
Long ago, the Red Chronicle was accidentally destroyed as its unbound pages fell. They were transformed and scattered across many possible worlds.
So, the artifacts I've been collecting were actually those transformed pages.
The Red Chronicle is a tome for exploring possible new worlds. But to recompile the pages, we'll first need to repair the damage to the spine.
How do we do that?
Simply return the collected artifacts to this material realm within the Chronicle. By doing so, we'll be recording history as we go. Be on the lookout for book sculptures and treasure chests around the labyrinth. Much like overdue library books, they have to be returned. Over there's a book sculpture. And that's a treasure chest. To accurately record history, each artifact must be put back in its corresponding passage. Once the book sculptures have all their artifacts back, the chapter will be complete. So if you're pressed for time, prioritize the book sculptures over the treasure chests.
Got it. The book sculptures are most important. Does that mean we can ignore the chests?
We don't need them per se, but the more we fill in the blanks, the better off history will be.
All right, we'll do what we can.
Just to reiterate, we're 50 years before the present day. That's when the war between Granorg and Alistel started, so keep your wits about you. There should be 3 book sculptures. Let's look for them. Time to compile this chapter.
Yeah! Huh. Yeah! Huh. Yeah! Yeah!
Wish they'd put up a fight.
For this book sculpture, we need this artifact. Alistel was founded by a man named Noah. His knowledge of Thaumatek turned the frigid north into a land of plenty.
Yeah! Yes!
That should be the last of them.
For this book sculpture, we need this artifact. Not long had passed since the birth of Alistel, before Granorg began to covet their prosperity. Granorg's army was marching on Alistel before its declaration of war reached Noah's hand. The sand fortress was built to fend off the impending invasion.
Yeah! Okay, let's push onward.
For this book sculpture, we need this artifact. Years ago, a terrible famine befell the kingdom of Granorg. Noah strove to save lives with Thaumatek engineering, but the king of Granorg forbade its use, dooming his subjects to sickness and starvation. And so, Noah took everyone who would follow and walked away. Looks like the path to the Hall of Binding has opened up.
The path to what?
It's where historical events are compiled and set in stone. Now, let's go fix this chapter.
Here we are, the Hall of Binding. What do we do now?
Your next test is to face history itself.
Excuse me?
Here it comes.
What the?
This is the history of war. Returning the chapter to the tome, revive the war. History is literally repeating itself. The countless lives lost here. Their passion and pain is taking shape, crying out for blood.
Such violence!
The binder of the Chronicle must understand history's rage. Only then can you turn the page.
Very well then. Here we go.
Here I go! This'll do the trick!
There! Got you! Too slow!
You won't escape!
Too slow! Take this!
You won't escape!
Too slow!
Down! Fire!
Make way! Here I come! Take this! Too slow!
You won't escape! There!
Looks as though we've won.
It's over.
We've recorded the history of war into the magical tome, yes?
That would be correct. When famine struck 80 years ago, Noah tried to save his fellow Granorgites, but the king of Granorg forbade Thaumatek engineering, and as a result, the people suffered. Noah and his followers went north to start anew, and so the land of Alistel was born. But as Alistel grew affluent, Granorg became jealous, so it has been recorded in the tome.
So the starving citizens weren't enough? What a petty reason to finally change their minds.
Still, I can't quite grasp why Thaumatek engineering would have been forbidden.
I wonder. That question's never been answered, has it?
Not in this chapter, anyway. We have at least 2 more to go. Maybe it's on the next page. Let's keep reading and find out.
Yes. Let's proceed. So this is the next chapter. What time period are we in now?
We're about 150 years back from the current day. The Empire is still in power, but not for long. Let's compile the chapter, shall we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us proceed.
For this book sculpture, we need this artifact. The Historia wasteland was once abundant in flora, fauna, and the traffic of trade caravans. But when the desertification struck, it withered into the wasteland that you see now. The monodrain began in the Imperial City and spread outward from there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's push onward.
For this book sculpture, back then, Prince Allium wandered the land for years, looking for a way to stop the creeping sand. But by the time he returned to the Imperial City, it was already too late to save it. Prince Allium had no choice but to abandon his ancestral home, and with what subjects he could save, he came here to found the Kingdom of Granorg.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Are you ready, Red One? Barely even a warm-up.
For this book sculpture, once, the Empire was so powerful, it ruled over the continent. By manipulating flux, of course. The Imperial sorcerers were said to control time itself. Nothing was thought to be impossible, but that was hubris. And pride always comes before a fall. A thaumaturg experiment went terribly wrong, and the Empire doomed the world with it. Sounds like the path to the Hall of Binding opened up somewhere. Now, let's go fix this chapter.
Yes. Yes. This again?
This chapter is about science. The hubris of thaumaturg and the tragedy of its consequences are trying to materialize. The binder of the Chronicle must understand history's sorrow.
We were born weighed down by that sorrow. We lived fighting every day against its rise. We won't lose that fight now. Let's go!
I can help too. What's its weakness?
Concentrate.
I thank you.
Take this!
Here!
Eat this! Too slow! Too slow! Too slow! Take that!
There! Come here.
Here you go.
That was wonderful. I'll heal.
Got you! How about this?
You won't escape!
How about this?
You won't escape!
Take this!
It's finally over. Looks like it's over.
So, this chapter pertains to the desertification and the founding of Granorg.
Correct. The desertification was caused by the Empire 150 years ago in an experiment gone awry. Prince Allium wandered the continent in search of a cure, but he never found one. The Imperial City was swallowed by the sand, so he gathered his surviving subjects and fled. Allium, first king of Granorg, had two magical tomes called the Black and White Chronicles. To slow the sands, he created a ritual of flux to be performed by the royal bloodline.
Desperate times called for desperate measures.
So that's how the ritual that Heiss, Erica, and I were wrapped up in came to be.
Many royals gave their lives for the sake of that ritual. It is truly heartbreaking.
No wonder Heiss took action. He wanted to end that cycle of pain and suffering.
Hey, what kind of experiment could have caused all this anyway?
I've been wondering that myself. What was it, Nemesia?
You'll see for yourselves soon.
Huh?
Well, all we can do now is keep moving.
We've reached the third chapter.
This is the Empire's golden age. 170 years before your time. What happened here is...
Huh?
You'll find out soon enough.
Very well.
Well, shall we get started? This is the last chapter to compile. We're almost done.
Yeah!
We're safe for now.
For this book sculpture, Thaumatek took the Empire into a golden age. Emperor Akalegia engineered a way to prolong it. That is when the most powerful of magical tomes was created, the Black Chronicle. Those who rewrite history can do no wrong. By changing the past, the Empire secured its future.
Is everyone all right?
For this book's Emperor Akalegia and Empress Lupinos had 2 children, a prince and a princess. The princess fell in love with a young Thaumatek scholar who had tutored her in sorcery. The 2 of them met here to exchange love letters, the only record of their affair. When the Emperor learned his daughter loved a sorcerer, he tore them apart. As punishment, he performed an experiment on the Thaumatek scholar. It was monstrous.
Yeah! Yeah!
Let us proceed.
For this book sculpture, we need this artifact. For all their power, the Empire maintained friendly relations between humans and beastkind. But after the incident, a rift was formed between the races. The Hall of Binding is open somewhere. We need to go there and fix this chapter.
Yeah! Yeah!
You're in good health, I trust?
Again? Let me guess. The binder of the Chronicle must understand history's power.
Wait! Is that...
Nemesia.
The authors of this tragedy, Ocalegia and Lupinas, the Emperor and Empress who conducted that evil experiment.
So that's them.
Stocke, please. You need to...
Don't worry. I'll handle it.
I can help too. We can do it, guys.
Take this!
You won't escape! Concentrate.
Too slow!
You won't escape!
Now! Here's a special one! Yeah!
You won't escape!
Got you! Burn!
There!
Got you!
Looks as though we've won.
They're finished. Did that fix the chapter?
Bingo. Now that you've restored history to its proper course, we can complete the Red Chronicle.
This sounds pretty important. Mind going over it again?
Not at all. Allow me to summarize.